My sisters and brothers, I greet you all with the love and peace of the Lord. I invite you to meditate together with me on the Holy Word of God of 12th February 2022. The focus of our reflection: human life is always a daily story of two options: either to turn to God and good, or turn to Satan or evil. The former leads to true satisfaction and joy, while the latter to increase to dissatisfaction and frustration. In today's Word of God, we have two contrasting figures and situations. In the first reading from 1 Kings, we have Jeroboam, the king of Israel, turning to evil and misleading the people also to abandon the true God and turn to idols. But in the gospel, we see Jesus turning to God and leading the people to experience the providential care of God. In the gospel, we have the miracle of the multiplication of 7 loaves and a few fish and feeding 4,000. Jesus feels compassion for the people hungry for 3 days. He thinks of the good and need of the people. But in contrast, Jeroboam thinks of his own throne. He fears that people would be drawn to Jerusalem temple and thus defect from their loyalty to him. So he erects 2 golden calves, many temples to any gods and anyone as priests. The consequence of Jeroboam's evil doing is infidelity to the true God and eventual destruction. But the consequence of Jesus' compassionate doing is deepened fidelity to God, superabundance, and satisfaction. The hungry people are not only fully satisfied, but there were also 7 baskets full of leftovers. This miracle once again confirms that God is ever compassionate to us. He is so sensitive and concerned for us. He will not leave us hungry and struggling in our desert and deprived situations. He will not allow us to faint on the way. He intervenes to feed us and strengthen us. He takes care of us and satisfies us. So, we are invited to turn to Jesus when we are hungry and in need. Confide in Him. We need not be worried about the magnitude of the need, like 4,000, and the smallness of our resources, like 7 loaves and a few fish. He would multiply them into superabundance. All that is needed is to find out and pool together our limited resources, place them in the hands of Jesus, trust His power, and be satisfied. And now the direction and the directive for our life. God has compassion for us, and He constantly takes steps to give us satisfaction and fulfillment. From our part, what is required is to trust in God's compassion and providence even in desperate situations and be satisfied and fulfilled.